What do you know about the meat?
Oh, no.
What do you know about the meat punch meta?
No.
Inside
I
of
don't know anything about
comments.
that.
Yo, welcome once again to another episode of Die or Pass Level, DOPL, the gaming podcast that remembers. I got my big brother, he's got his new car, and he's ready to take us somewhere special. I'm picking up my buddy TDK all the way out in the woods. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Your drive to pick me up to get back to a mall, that's a long drive, my friend. We are not close to a mall in the woods. We're going to have a lot of bonding and or I Spy car games for the 2-hour drive back.
Tell you what, book a flight.
Yeah. I'm not joking, listeners, at least 2 hours from the woods to the closest mall, maybe more. It might have been 2.5. It was an exciting day when you were going to drive that 2.5 hours to go to the mall.
That's halfway to Vegas for me over here, right? I'm like,
That's crazy.
As you may have deduced, listeners, that's right. We are going to the mall today. We are reminiscing about our early memories of going to that old ancient relic of a place. I know some still exist and some are still out there, but they're just not what they used to be, at least if you ask me. My idea, and TDK, I hope you're ready and got your fit ready for this trip. My plan is to hit up all our favorite spots, talk a little bit about what we loved so much about those locations inside of our local malls.
Bro, I didn't wear this distressed light wash denim for nothing. Let's get to that mall as soon as possible.
Get in, loser. We're going to the mall. So the first thing I did is I would park strategically. I had like my spot that I would always go to. We'd walk through this concrete bridge that leads you from the parking garage into the mall, right? The easiest access to my favorite side of the mall. It was closest to the food court. It was closest to Surf City Squeeze. Often my number one pickup at the mall. And Surf City Squeeze was a smoothie shop. They just had some of the best smoothies I've ever had in my life to this day. I guess it's comparable to something like our listeners will probably remember Orange Julius. Did you have a drink of choice while perusing through the mall?
As cool as Surf City Squeeze sounds, it is Orange Julius. It's not do you want an Orange Julius. Everybody wants an Orange Julius. The question is with or without banana. Ultimately, it's like an icy, but when you add banana, now it's a smoothie. I'm a with banana guy.
Just off rip, and I wasn't an Orange Julius guy, but I can definitely tell you that I am team banana too. All right, so you got your Orange Julius. We're walking through the mall, sipping our drink. Where are you taking me, TDK? What's our first stop on our trip through the mall?
The entrance leads me to the food court, but I don't go right to the food right away. I kind of take a gander.
You peep the scene.
Yeah.
You kind of start deciding what might it be in an hour.
What might it be today? Right. How much cash do I have and or how much do I need to go ask my mom for more? And then I start taking a lap. Because in every mall as a kid, you take a lap, right? You don't let a corner be undiscovered.
No stone unturned.
And see what is going on in every single store. I think on that lap, I always save the best for last. Let's leave that for a minute. But you're talking your Brookstones, dare I say your GameStops. And so the first things I'm going in are probably a little bit of as seen on TV store. You remember those?
Hell yeah. Why were those stores the best?
Who's buying things in those stores? And yet there was always something I wanted. The Ronco dehydrator thing and or some kind of like funky toy that you'd seen on an infomercial at like 2 a.m. after you woke up on the couch from like a long Scooby-Doo marathon. Yeah. So I'm probably starting at the as seen on TV. But the first one that we go to that I'm actually really excited to go to and I'm going to spend a little time in is probably Suncoast Video. I can't afford any of these DVDs. It's early days for physical media. I'm going to look at the box sets. They have, I wouldn't call them action figures, but they're like desktop sculptures of like Marty McFly and the DeLorean. And then they have the thing that I know we both love, the poster divider.
Yep, yes. The giant metallic metal poster book. Just look through them. Never took one home.
And then, of course, you're going to kill a full 10 to 15 minutes just staring up at whatever movie's playing. It's probably Jurassic Park or Back to the Future or Goonies. You love it and you know it and you can't hear it, but you can't stop yourself. You're just watching the movie.
You're sipping your Orange Julius. You're looking up at the screen, and maybe 10 to 12 minutes later, you get a nudge on your shoulder from your buddy. It's like, all right, man, let's go check out something else.
Keep it moving. Okay.
All right, fine.
What's next? Take us to the next shop.
Where am I going next? I want to say the big hitters for last. And I don't want to quite go to the food court just yet.
Give us a mid-tier,
a
real like, all right, I got to see what they got in there.
Look, guys, trust me, all right? Trust me. Follow me into Sears. Just follow me into Sears.
Sears?
Yeah, dude.
What do you
hear
need
me
a
out.
refrigerator? What are we going to Sears for? They have really, really, really good deals on China right now.
This is toolbox I've been eyeballing. So upstairs in the kids to like youth section of t-shirts, just randomly inside, almost like an oasis, this mirage. Is that what I think it is? Walk through those shirts, burrow through them, and what do you have here? It is a Super Nintendo Entertainment System kiosk
In Sears?
inside of Sears with the kids' t-shirts for some reason.
Oh, I don't think I had those.
Sometimes I feel like Sears didn't know they had that in there. It was just so random and hidden, right?
Were they selling Super Nintendos and then they were like, hey, kids, try these and tell your parents to buy one? Is
They
that
had
like
games, yeah. I think Sears was just trying to jump in on, what was popular at the time. Man, that's where I first saw Super Metroid. That's where I first saw Yoshi's Island. They struck a deal with Nintendo for sure, right? So I would go in there exclusively. What other kid is going to
Nobody.
Sears to, to play video games?
It's just
So
the kids who their mom is like, hey, we're staying in this store. I don't want you to leave Sears. There's the round clothes rack, and you kind of sneak into the clothes, and you're not supposed to be in there, and you're like peeking on everybody. And then you see that. Is that a Super Nintendo?
I swear that is almost exactly how I remember it happening. What the hell is this thing
Incredible.
doing here? Like, I entered another dimension. Just trust me, guys. You came with me. We played some SNES. We had our good time. Now, we're going to make our way out of Sears with some fond memories and maybe some China.
One more mid-tier, but I think everyone's going to relate to this. And there's nothing in these stores that I ever really particularly wanted. I just knew I wasn't supposed to be there, and that was fun.
Are we going to Spencer's?
We're going to Hot Topic, and we're going to Spencer's. Hot Topic at first, and then you got to
Yeah.
graduate to Spencer's. Spencer's gets intense.
You can go into Spencer's if your mom was with you at the mall.
No. So you got to be like, all right, Mom, I'll be in Sears. And then you walk in, and there's either like a total long hair metal guy who definitely owns a van with a mural on it,
Yeah.
or a super beautiful goth girl. You have no business being in there, and she's looking at you like, why are you coming in this store?
I was definitely a serial Hot Topic enjoyer. For the longest time, at least in my circles, you didn't want to be caught wearing a shirt from Hot Topic because you needed to be so punk rock that you listened to bands that Hot Topic didn't know about yet and didn't sell t-shirts of yet. Corporate music and things like that were just frowned upon, at least in my circle of
Sure.
friends. So
Sellouts.
yeah, exactly.
totally.
Like, oh, you got a shirt of those sellouts. But eventually I did make the grown-up decision at the age of 17 of, I like this shirt and I should be able to wear what I like.
First thing I ever bought from Hot Topic, I probably was a very dorky sophomore in high school or something, and I bought a belt that was actually like a Ford Mustang seatbelt belt.
Sick.
So cool. Thank you, Ray. Finally.
I remember those. I thought they were cool.
Very cool. I
you
wore
what?
that belt to my job in Red Robin in the mall.
Buckle
That
up,
belt got
baby.
a
It's
lot
time
of
for
miles.
bottomless fries.
What do you know about bottomless fries, Ray?
I was, as I mentioned, a big rocker, punk rock, emo, screamo, all the stuff, singer in bands. Hot Topic also had my favorite eyeliner.
Oh, I could see it.
Dude, that's a whole nother cup of coffee. I'll tell you all about Raven Screams another day. That's like
Raven screams.
that was my like persona on stage when I was a singer in this band.
Wow.
Let's go to Red Robin. My friends are hungry. We don't got a ton of money in our pockets today. And some of it we're saving to spend at our favorite spots, the local arcade and EB Games. We're not quite there yet. Combine the dollar bills that we have. We order the bottomless steak fries, which I absolutely love.
Listen, I served tables at Red Robin. This is not a joke. For like 7 years. I started in Washington. After the Woods, you go to Seattle, you serve tables at Red Robin. You move to LA, you keep serving tables at Red Robin, right? Obviously, there's college in there, and then there's all the rich and famous reasons you go to LA. I'll tell you what, those bottomless steak fries, you're not wrong, they're delicious. However, they're only bottomless when you order a meal. And when a table of like 5 dorky teenagers come in and they order waters and 1 basket of bottomless steak fries, no thank you.
TDK is not going to get his second buckling belt with those kinds of tips, guys.
It's not going to happen. I knew better than to even accept that table. That's going to go to the new kid. Give me the people who go to Red Robin, They're there to have a little fun. It's kind of like a quirky place. They're there to splurge a little bit. They're going to have some drinks.
Yeah,
and
food court.
Ultimately,
yeah, right.
exactly. Like in the context of a mall, if they're going Red Robin, they're actually like making the elevated choice. It's probably a couple moms with their teenage daughters and they're shopped out and they're just like, you know what? Where's the Chardonnay? Those moms are the reason I paid rent for years. Can I tell you a fun Red Robin story about malls? What is everybody's kind of fantasy about a mall, right? What is the Saved by the Bell fantasy? It's staying until after close. What would happen with Red Robin, we didn't close till midnight, right? And the mall has been closed for hours, but we had that external entrance because people were coming for the bar, for late dinner all night long. I'm closing, right? It's me, it's the bartender, it's the manager, one busser, and like one host. And we're having a great time. The manager and I became great friends, and he was taking a college photography class at the time. And he was like, hey man, how about one of these days we stay late and we go into the mall and the lights are on, because I'm sure there's some security around somewhere. But he was like, let's go tool around, let's do some photography. I was like, great. And we spent probably like midnight to 4 a.m. in our 20s, jumping and leaping and running and taking fun shots. The escalators aren't going, but we're climbing them and we're sliding down. I had the ultimate mall fantasy. It was so fun. And it's not like the stores are open. You know what I mean? The stores have the gates.
Yeah.
But it was like you're in a zombie movie and you can't leave the mall.
That's what I was going to say. It's almost like you're in a video game, and you know how sometimes the video game boundaries are that you can't go inside the store?
100%. What was the Last of Us DLC where they're in the mall? Left Behind.
Left Behind. Yeah, or there's a whole game about a zombie apocalypse inside of the mall. Frank West is the main character. Dead Rising.
Xbox Dead Rising. Great game.
Funny enough, Frank West is a photographer. That's right. The whole game is based around this guy, Frank West, who's like a journalist, and he's inside the mall covering it.
Yes. I love that game. I want to say Xbox 360.
Xbox 360, I think, was the original console. And it was like, I think if you went back to it, it would still look pretty impressive. I remember it having that motion blur to kind of fall back on and feeling really good back even in that generation.
I remember it was the first game where they were like, you won't believe the number of zombies we're able to put in the game because of the power of this console.
It was like the showstopper, just like, how many zombies can be on screen at once.
Hordes. It was the first time hordes of zombies could be in a video game.
All right, tell you what, TDK, my buddies got their fries, they got their pizza, but I've had my eyeball on the food court ever since I walked in. You go get your thing, I'll go get my thing, and there's a table right there we'll meet at.
You can't go wrong with a slice of Sbarro's. It's terrible, but what do we talk about on this podcast? We talk about bad pizza, and it's great bad pizza.
It's good bad pizza.
So when you're hungry and you're 14 and you're in a mall and you got enough money for one slice, Sbarro's, it'll do you okay. But if you got a couple people to feed and you want to take a little trip to the eastern side, you got to go to the whatever random noodle place is in that food court, and they all had one.
Hold on, TDK, you going to Great Khan's Mongolian Express too? Let's go together.
Yeah, we're gonna get a giant heaping, like, serving of noodles. Some lunch lady is gonna ask us what kind of veggies we want on there. They're gonna put way more oil than could possibly be healthy for a human to consume. Just so much oil, and they're gonna throw it on top of a giant grill with everyone else's junk, and then they're gonna put it in a bowl, and we're gonna love it.
We're gonna go deep now. What do you know about the meat?
Oh no.
What do you know about the meat punch meta?
No.
Inside
I don't know anything about that.
At least amongst my friends, and I think it was pretty common. I think we must have saw it from somewhere else. Basically, you can only put as much toppings in your noodles as could fit in the bowl they give you, right?
True.
So it was like this frozen beef and this frozen chicken and pork, right? We would put it in our bowl and we'd literally punch it down.
You would just compact the space.
Just punch.
But don't they weigh it at the end? Don't they like charge you by weight?
I think it's just you pay for the bowl. At least that's what we remember. And that was the whole thing.
Good for you guys.
Yeah. Eventually they started like policing it a little bit.
You know what's funny? Like as a 40-year-old, I'm like, you know what? Ray and his friends really stuck it to the man. They really showed those corporations who was boss.
Yeah,
Red
man. Robin,
Mongolian Grill. These guys, they got their money's worth.
I got my Ramones t-shirt on, my eyeliner, and I'm sticking it to the man at Great Khan's Mongolian Cuisine.
Good for you, Ray. You got a
Thank
couple
you.
extra ounces of beef in there.
Exactly. Oh, are you already done with your bowl TDK? Sucks to be you.
Yeah. God, mine was light. This thing is all noodles. Oops, all noodles. Let me ask you a question, though. You ever find yourself at the mall with no money? The friends are there. You know what I'm going to do? Auntie Annie's always good for a couple samples.
Yeah, you're trying to be low key. You don't want to like make it a big deal that you don't got any money. Hey, isn't the Barnes and Nobles that way?
And then the
this-
person handing it out, you're like, well, I tried the one, but I'm going to try the I've never tried this other flavor. You know,
Right.
so I got to get both flavors.
And then you stand there eating it like you're thinking about buying it. How much? How much? Okay, cool. Just walk off.
Thanks. It's really nice. If you had to estimate how many pretzels you've had by sample bites alone, what would you say? 10?
13 or 14 pretzels total. just in
One
sample
sample at a
bites.
time.
Yeah, I didn't have to eat Auntie Annie's often because at the very sad corner of the mall was the Sega cousin of pretzel places. It was called Pretzel Time, and I had the fortune of my cousin working at said Pretzel Time. What was hilarious is that he worked upstairs, and directly downstairs my brother worked at the electronic boutique, aka EB.
Oh, we got to go into that. So you had a hookup. You had a family member at a game store in a mall. They get the games before they release. Do you get the game?
My brother was the lifeline for our gaming lives. Obviously, my brother's moved on from working at GameStop, but if there was a way for us to get access to the games we had access to during that time, it was amazing. Games that were rentals but you would never dare buy. My brother was just like, let's try it. You remember that game we looked at in the magazine? Here it is. Let's check it out.
It's renting without the money part.
Yeah, exactly. They had like the sealer, so we would open it.
Reseal the package. Those brand new games I bought were already played.
People were definitely unknowingly buying used games.
What the hell?
The one game that my brother brought from EB that was burned into my memory is a game called Steel Battalion. What do you know about Steel Battalion, dude? Very, very deep cut. One, they didn't make a lot of them. Two, they didn't make a lot of them because they were insanely expensive. The game could only be played on a controller that was literally a mech robot console. It had 2 joysticks,
What?
an eject button you had to flip up to press, acceleration knobs to flip to
The
start your
game
mech.
came with this stuff?
The game came with this controller.
EB had a demo version or something that you got to bring home.
I don't know what my brother
He
did.
was just like, hey, you want a mech suit? I got a mech suit today.
Yeah, I don't care what he did. He brought home like literally this behemoth of a control with this Xbox game. It was an experience just to get it off of the runway. It was a process. You had to like flip all these switches on the control.
Love that.
Hit the pedal, lift the 2 joysticks. It was like this whole thing. And it was one of those games where death was permanent. If you made it to the 4th stage and you failed the mission, you had to start all the way back from the first mission. Unless you ejected out of your mech suit on time.
Did people play this game?
It's definitely a cult favorite. I mean, it was expensive, so not a lot of people got to play this game.
I didn't have a family member that worked at a video game store in a mall, but I definitely remember EB Games. I remember, obviously, GameStop is the one that kind of permeated, but they were always glass encased. It was always just front facing, just endless titles. And there was a
cardboard stand-ups.
Cardboard stand-ups for sure. And there was a couple different demo stations. Like there was like a PlayStation station and an Xbox station. And for me, one of the coolest things about working at a Red Robin in a mall, in Washington, you could just work straight through. You could make all the tips. In California, you had to take your break. You had to be off the clock for 30 minutes legally. So I took those 30 minutes to go straight over to GameStop and play. It's the superhero game where you're on the rails and you have electricity and
Second Son is the
yeah,
sequel.
but it's the one before that. You're correct.
This
I've
game
always
has a
seen
name
this.
that is very forgettable because I
It's
feel
very
like
generic.
I always forget what this
Infamous.
game is called. Yes.
It's infamous. So
Yeah.
I'm working at Red Robin. I clock out and I bust it over to GameStop. At this point, I'm kind of friends with those guys, and I come in, and then I play 29 minutes of Second Son. I get as far as I can on that little demo level. You really feel great playing that game, and there was something crazy and rejuvenating, because it's like an 8-hour shift. It's high energy, like you're sprinting, and you're on, and you're trying to be charming, you're trying to get tips, and you're trying to make sure all the orders are right, and all this stuff. And then I would just go dive into PS3 I'd go back to work so rejuvenated, as if I was just showing to work for the first time, because I just went and played Infamous for 30 minutes. It was incredible.
Unbelievable, this guy, Doppelgang. Can't stand a starving kid ordering bottomless fries, but is happy to play 30 minutes of a video game he's never going to buy.
No, I bought Infamous. Like,
Okay.
100%. I played all the Infamous. I will tell you what, though. The reason that kiosk was open to me is because I would bring bottomless fries with me. I would
Nice.
go to the GameStop and I'd have like 3 orders of bottomless fries for the dudes. I'd have like the ranch and the campfire mayo, and I'd give it to the guys, and I'd be like,
Play whatever you want.
salute. The most Zach Morris I've ever been in my life was that move.
I just want to point out is that in that era that my brother worked at Electronic Boutique, and it's probably just because we literally go and see him at work all the time. We just go hang out with him at work with my friends. When we all envision my brother in that era, he, in my memory, is always wearing a GameStop lanyard. That
GameStop or EB?
Oh, Electronic Boutique. Sorry. So yes, he had this Electronic Boutique lanyard on every time we saw him because he was at work, and I guess that was something he wore. But every time
But
I
in your
recollect,
memory,
yeah, even
You're
in
at
my
grandma's
memory,
house and he has the EV lanyard.
Exactly. In my memory, we could be like, at Tia's house at the barbecue or something, and my brother's wearing the lanyard.
That's amazing.
My brother lent us a couple of games. We're walking out of EB. We're finally heading to that side of the mall with all the big and bright lights, and something just hits different about a movie theater inside of a mall. What about a movie theater inside of a mall
what?
does that?
It's not the screen. The screens are always worse.
Yeah.
It's not the presentation of the movies. It's definitely, there's some sense memory, right? Before you even get to the theater, you can smell the popcorn in that portion of the mall. You can smell what's going on, and that's exciting. And then you go from the stark, cold, bright lights tile of the mall to like that very specific movie theater carpet. I mean, to be honest, I don't know that it's any different than the carpet from The Shining. It's the overlook carpet with the kid on the big wheel. Why is every movie theater carpet exactly the same as The Shining? Yep. Also, this might be a me thing, Ray. Tell me how you feel about this. Theater hopping in a mall theater is very easy. I never really theater hopped in actual theaters.
That is
in
so
movie
true.
Theaters. I could go to a mall and I could watch 3 movies, and I would.
Nothing hit harder than Congo X 3 Ninjas Kick Back.
Yeah. Mine was Austin Powers 3 Gold Member and Vin Diesel's Triple X. Okay, we paused by the mall to take in the popcorn and the very creepy carpet, but we all know where we're going.
It's what we really came here for. It's what the mall was almost in its entirety to me. I just loved the arcade. It's where you learned about the latest and greatest video games before the internet existed. It was a magical place and a magical time. Do you have any video game mall memories?
I gotta be honest. So, like, the mall being 2 hours away, I didn't have a lot of days where I'm just killing time in the mall. What we're doing right now is very reminiscent of my mall experience. I'm trying to pack it all in. So I didn't get to have a lot of just downtime in the arcade. You know, when you walk up to the arcade, it's loud. DDR is front and center. People are just stomping. Yeah, it's definitely that. And I gotta be honest, that puts me off a little bit. Right away, I'm kind of like, wow, this is a lot. But
yeah,
I can look past DDR and I can see a Virtua Fighter over there, right?
Yep.
Or I can see a Sega Rally. What's the hydroplane game?
Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder. I gotta sit in those seats and be in the hydroplane on Lake Shasta or whatever, right? Like, I have to do it. If I'm being 100% honest with you, it's probably very different than your experience. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about this. And then something in the deep arcade would catch my eye.
It all revolved around fighting games for me. And there was that certain window in time where arcades were all about fighting games. And it was just the new hotness to have a fighting game. Everyone was trying to be Street Fighter. It was the optimal way for arcades to take your coins too, because there was 2 players.
You'd always have a friend at the mall.
Yeah, I'd always go
But for me,
to the mall with friends.
So I'm at the mall because my mom needs to go to the mall in her once a quarter, 2-hour each way trip so she can stock up on material for sewing and the shit she needs from the mall. So I'm there for a day, but I don't have buddies there. I don't know anybody in this town. I'm not gonna walk into this arcade and challenge somebody because that would be crazy. You know what I mean? So it's more like, what games can I play by myself? DDR is crazy overwhelming. The fighting games are so intense. If I ran into you at a mall at 14, I would have been so intimidated. There's no way I would have talked to you.
It is scary, but more often than not, and this is also the magic of arcades and the magic of the fighting game scene, is that a lot of times, in my experience, even if I lose, the guy playing next to me might be like, you can slide under that. You know that thing you did? If you did this, you would have stuffed me with your attack instead. And so it's just
That's
like
cool.
this conversation. And
It's a community.
Yeah, for sure. And I took it upon myself after I experienced it from people at arcades. And when I play people, I'd always just be like, you were this close to beating me, and you would have if you did this move. I bet you didn't know that that move beats this move. Catch me next time. Maybe you'll get me next time.
I have one more question for you. I think we got to leave it with this.
Yep.
I'm coming to the mall. I don't know anybody. I'm there for the day. I don't have a lot to lose. And that lends itself to a mall crush. You ever have a mall crush?
Oh my gosh, dude. I wish I could remember her name. Girl at Mrs. Fields.
She worked at Mrs. Fields.
Yeah, she was the cookie girl at Mrs. Fields. And every time I'd go to the mall, I'd walk past with my Surf City squeeze. Hey guys, let's go check out this one store. Like, dude, we know why you want to walk past that part of the mall.
Yeah.
Long story short, I got her number. That's right.
Did you really? You talked to her?
Yeah, I did.
You called her?
Dude, I think I called once. She didn't answer, and I was like, that's it. She doesn't like me. It's over.
That's it? You didn't
I
follow
never,
up? She gave you the number. She was interested.
I was always in my head about stuff like that, so I was like, that's it. Whatever. I guess she hates me.
That's ridiculous, right? I'm so bummed at you right now. Like, the Mrs. Field girls gave you her number. Like, give her the time of day. I lived 2 hours away from where I was at, so it was like flirting in the mall was like a fun thing. Maybe that led to like talking to somebody, and maybe one time it led to like holding hands or something. But I don't ever see these people again. They live 2.5 hours away from me. You know what I mean? It's not a real thing.
Right.
But you saw this girl over and over at the mall after school or whatever.
If I'm being honest, my friends knew I had a crush on her. And I think Bobby, one of my buddies, without me knowing, when it was like, hey, my friend thinks you're cute, Bobby was like, hey, dude, get over here. Like, she says she wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh, all right.
Oh, Bobby really hooked it up then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby came through.
The idea of my friend going up to a girl and saying, hey, that guy over there thinks you're cute is more mortifying than me just walking up to the girl.
Totally, dude. I was pissed that he did it, but thankfully, it worked out in my favor.
Give me a heads up. I would have talked to her, dude.
I probably wouldn't have, let's be honest, but it's okay.
Yeah. Dude, that was a hell of a day at the mall.
I got my to-go box. I'm walking across that concrete
really
bridge back to the
that
parking
meat down.
garage.
That Mongolian grill is going to taste so good with Ritz crackers later. It's going to taste delicious.
Chef's kiss. I think that concludes our trip to the mall. We had a hell of a time. And the best part is, during this time in my youth, I was going to do it again, maybe the immediate day after, especially during the summer. Especially during the summer.
That's cool. That's the life I wanted, but no way.
Unless you got anything else to add, TDK, I think we're just going to turn this car on and head off into the sunset.
Let's do it. Let's play the CD we just bought at Sam Goody, and let's get out of here.
All right, Doppelgang, thanks for hanging out with us. It was a hell of a time, and we hope to see you back at this mall same time tomorrow. TDK, peace out. Always a pleasure. Doppelgang, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.